Science and Music Department. Proceeding further for the warm welcome, I would like to invite Dr. V.P. Singh to offer bouquet and garland to the music celebrants. Now I would request Dr. Gayatri ma'am to offer the bouquet to Dr. J.P. Chhatrasal, who is the chief patron of this session.
Video is not visible.
Now I would like to invite Kunj Bihari sir to welcome J.P. Sapia sir. Now I would request Dr. Kamesh Chaurasia to welcome our chief guest and the keynote speaker, Dr. Sonia Singh. I think I have forgotten to welcome our own HODs, and now I would request Dr. Kalpana Kashmar. Please also welcome the HOD of the Department of English. Dr. A.S. Kushwaha sir. Now, adding icing over the cake, since it is believed that good counsel is always better than good fortune, and since we have good counsel in the form of our panel, so I would request the chorus to please present the welcome song. All these songs are presented by the participants Devanshi Arya, Mansi Yadav, Muskan Krishna Karma, Swati Rajput, and Anjit Kush of Dr. Babulas Singh. We have Shaleen Verma on harmonium, Shivam Pandey on vocal, and Prashant Pathak Sabha, and all of you. Now, I would request Dr. B.P. Singh Ross, the coordinator of this seminar and the head of the department, School of Studies in English and School of Studies in English and Research Center, to deliver the welcome address. So, please.
Thank you, Member Durga. I feel extremely honored to welcome Vice Chancellor Professor P.R. Thapak Sahab. He is very dynamic and he is our guardian figure, our patron. I also welcome our Registrar, Dr. J.P. Mishra sir, keynote speaker, Dr. Sonia Singh. I am highly obliged to her, though she suffered injury. In spite of that, she had severe pain in her legs. In spite of that, she came over here. I'm highly grateful to her. I also welcome Dr. A.S. Kushwaha, who came from Government S&P College, Gwalior. I welcome Dr. S.P. Saraswat sir. He is very much like my elder brother. Whenever I request him, he willingly, without any grant, without any education, he accepts my invitation. I welcome him. I also welcome Dr. J.P. Shah, Dean of Faculty of Arts. I heartily welcome to Dr. A.K. Chaturvedi, who has come from IEHE, Institute for Excellence in Higher Education. He came from Bhopal, though he was not feeling well since previous month. In spite of that, he came over here. Sir, I'm very grateful to you. I welcome Dr. B. Bajpai sir, who came from Nagaon. I welcome Dr. Rekha Shukla madam, Dr. Vibha Vasudev madam, Dr. Kalpana Vaish madam, Dr. S.K. Chari sir, and all the members of my staff who came over here and they made this seminar quite blissful. We know that the topic of the seminar is revisiting J.P. Shah in the present scenario. We know that J.P. Shah was a great stalwart. He was an iconoclast who was always head on the people who are in the power generally. It may be the government, it may be the establishment, or maybe the people who are in high power. He always protested against them, the injustice they did in the society. So he is very relevant. He always protected human values and he was in favor of a homogeneous society where interfaith people of different caste, different color, different creed, they can live together without any conflict. So he was such a stalwart. It would not be exaggeration if we say him that he was a Premchand of India who was against the social evils. So on such an occasion, we will discuss on the various aspects of J.P. Shah, and definitely we will be highly benefited from the ideas, from the speeches that will be delivered by our key speakers. Our key speakers are very esteemed, illustrious persons. Definitely we the teachers and the students will be highly benefited from their ideas, from their speeches. Thank you once again, all of you. I heartily welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, there's a very famous proverb in English, curiosity kills the cat. But I don't think this proverb is really going to work because curiosity here is increasing the enthusiasm of all the participants. So with both eager mind and eager heart, I would request on the behalf of the organizing committee of this seminar, I would request our keynote speaker,
स्पीकर के शब्द में लगा दिए जाते हैं भाई
Dr. Sonia Singh. I would like to take the privilege to introduce her. And ma'am, forgive me if I miss anything. She is assistant professor at the Department of English, Government ARG College, Korea. She has extensive teaching experience of 25 years. She has keen interest in Indian English writing. She has also successfully supervised 8 research scholars for doctoral duty and also served as an external examiner for PhD Viva across India in various universities. She is also member of editorial board for various journals in Russia and literature. We are delighted by your gracious presence, ma'am. I again welcome you and request you to please come and share or deliver because we are eagerly keen to listen you, ma'am, please.
A very good morning to all of you. We have, I think, after 2 years, an offline seminar, and I really applaud. I give all credits to this university, the English department, and very recently I have met Honorable VC sir. I would rather congratulate you all for having such a dynamic vice chancellor. So, with all due respect to the dais here today, Honorable Dr. T.R. Thapat sir, VC of this university, Mishra sir, Registrar sir, Acharya sir, who is staying here, the head of the department English, Dr. P.P. Singh Gaur sir. I met Dr. Gayatri ma'am. I have here in the gallery audience Chaturvedi sir and many more, all dignitaries and above all, dear students. Again, I would like to thank the music department for giving us such an overwhelming experience. Music, it just ignites you and it gives you all food for soul. This is what we. I wish to open this discourse today with a very famous quote of Jayarth Shaw. He said, "Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself." I think this is enough to depict the relevance of Bernard Shaw in the modern times. To create is to evolve. To evolve is to be modern. A journey from George Bernard Shaw to GBS. He was, in his prefaces, he never used his full name. He wrote GBS. So this journey from George Bernard Shaw to GBS and then Chauvinism, his philosophy and his theory is quoted as Shavian thought, Shavian philosophy. So this journey is very interesting, motivating, and inspiring. He, I think, is the first to convincingly present that performance is not just on stage, but everywhere and in all times. We all are here performing. We all are given some role, and we all are in a performance. Shaw was a man who was greatly admired by Jawaharlal Nehru. I think many of you would know कि जब सेब का सीजन आता था तो पेटी के पेटी सेब नेहरू जी शॉ के पास पहुंचाते थे. So Shaw was a man who was admired by Nehru and by Albert Einstein equally. This establishes that his progressive, scientific, rational, and logical approach, as well as his socio-political ideas, are all around crossing boundaries, crossing geographical lands, and we all admire him. Creating oneself according to the times is one of the greatest touchstone is relevant, for he created himself as none otherwise. On his 90th birthday, he was the most sellable author in Pelican paperback books. Pelican published what is called Shaw Million, 10 titles in editions of 100,000 each. So this was his popularity. In fact, he was a global personal brand all on his own. First person to know how to generate and use global fame. Whatever he advocated, it was not just the need of that time, but for our times also. After all, by saying something to the age, I think one can say something to the posterity. Today we say something, and I think the future generations would, follow it, remember it, and walk on the path which we are going to create. Today's concepts and ideas of feminism, life force, social realism, and creative evolution are very contemporary, very modern, very much of our times. I would like to here now give the very, what I felt, the very apt relevance of Bernard Shaw for our times with a play which he has written long back when the vaccine for tuberculosis was invented and Alexander Fleming invented penicillin. Long back. He wrote a play, and the title of the play is The Doctor's Dilemma. I would like to relate it to our times because we all are facing COVID challenges. We all are in a time when a vaccine was invented for COVID, and we were, in a fix whether to get vaccinated or not, whether this vaccine would give us that necessary, shield to protect ourselves, or would it give some kind of damage to our body. So we all, are in this dilemma. And then, of course, with the second wave of COVID, many of us have lost our dear ones, our near ones. And we could see the helplessness of the doctors, of the medical, facilities around the globe. So in this play, Shaw has given a statement, and that statement is, stimulate the phagocytes, drugs are a delusion. Phagocytes are WBCs, the white blood cells in our blood. This is what he said in this play. He said that nature has given us phagocytes, that is WBCs, and nature has given us this, facility that our body can cure ourselves. It can create our own immune system. So he was against that time for the TB vaccine, which was given by Sir Amroth Wright. He had a long discussion with Sir Amroth Wright as well, and in one of the famous hospital of UK, that is St. Mary's Hospital. And there Shaw challenged the vaccine treatment and its validity. He said, you, and the second is death. Either they can treat you or they can give you death. So this is what he said in that play. Then he says that when there are too many patients, then it is very difficult to decide whom to treat and whom to leave. So then there comes, the wisdom of the doctor. When there are too many patients, then the doctor has to decide whose life is worth saving. We had many news in the newspapers. There were many adult people who said, don't treat me, treat this young boy. We had so many cases, and we read so. The newspaper was, covered with all such news. Then Shaw, in that particular play, he also says, the comparative qualitative researchers treat men as an experiment. We can feel it now, I think, after being vaccinated. Still, there is, a fear. I know a very young boy from Gwalior, of a very eminent family,
He vaccinated and the first dose was injected successfully, but then he got a paralytic attack. And doctors said he cannot be given the second dose because vaccine has reacted. So these are the situations which we are facing, and Shaw has very beautifully, narrated it in his drama, The Doctor's Dilemma. Then let me come to Shaw's opinions on marriage, women, and love. Shaw has treated women in the most respectful manner. He shatters the notion of women as angelic or heroically diabolic. He advocates women who can appear unpleasant in many ways. Women cannot be pleasant always. I hope you agree. He said women are not all bad, not all good. He wrote for the future of the women because he wished to dispel all chivalric notions about women that seems to elevate her. Don't worship us. Give us respect. We don't want to be worshipped. We want respect. We want equal opportunities. We want freedom. Towards a purpose, and that is what he calls the life force. And this is what he postulated in his theory of life force and in his theory of creative evolution. Any life that has a purpose is worth living. So I think we all can connect to this thought very well in our times, that with a purpose, if we are living, then of course this life is worth. Otherwise, what is the difference between us and the other? हमारे हिंदी में अपने ग्रंथों में 84 लाख योनियां हैं, तो कोई अंतर ही नहीं है. So we must have a purpose. Everybody should pursue and strive forward with a purpose. In his excuse me, it's okay. So his women characters, if you all have read, I have read 3 or 4 plays of Bernard Shaw. When I was graduating, I read one at that time. Then in my post-graduation, I read St. John's. And while teaching, I read Arms and the Man, Candida. And in all his plays, I'm in love with his women characters. Candida is very close to my heart. Because in Candida, I think she was given the opportunity to choose. She's forced to see what is real, and she's allowed to choose between the two realities. The man who needs her the most is her husband, so she chooses him. हमारे यहाँ भी एक पिक्चर आई है ऐश्वर्या राय की, हम दिल दे चुके सनम, where she has to choose between the two. So Candida ने उस जमाने में चूज किया और हम दिल दे चुके सनम में अभी चूज हुआ. ठीक है, तो ये रेलेवेंस हो गया हमारा. ठीक, आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो शॉ की whatever the female characters of his plays, the female protagonists, I feel he talks about and he wants that we all should be ultimate women. His ultimate woman is St. John. If anybody of you have read the play St. John, you can find that she is the perfect woman who combines best of all Shaw's female characters. Her spiritual beauty, common sense, courage, and above all, her purpose for life makes her extraordinary. She carries that confidence which comes when you know that what you do is right and God is by your side. So when you have this confidence, you can excel. अभी एक नई न्यूज है, JNU में पहली women VC. I think Shaw is relevant. See his relevance here. Or with all the women, personalities, eminent personalities who are doing good in their field, all of you who are sitting here, you all are Shavian women in that case. You all have a purpose and you all are moving ahead with confidence, determination, and with your, goal that you have and that you perceive So this is how I take his women characters. Then the most important thing is his life force theory. All his life he worked for, social realism is of course one of the reality. He was a Fabian, by which Nehru was very much inclined toward him because of his Fabian socialism. And when he talks of socialism, he says that all human beings must be emancipated collectively rather individually, because every individual is a part of society, is a part of collective identity. हम लोग आज सुनते हैं सबका साथ सबका विकास, relevance. Then coming to, of course, I will now come to his life force theory, which is one of the, we can say, Shaw has formulated and depended all his plays on this particular aspect, which is his philosophy. And many times it is said that he was influenced by his contemporary philosophers like Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, Huxon. Many are there by whom he was inspired in order to formulate his theory. But I think it would be wrong to call him a plagiarist. After reading all, he formulated his own concept. हम लोग भी यही करते हैं. सबको पढ़ने के बाद हम अपना एक व्यू पॉइंट बनाते हैं, and that is not plagiarism. So life force theory is Shaw's very much original theory, his theory, in which he has reacted against the mechanistic and deterministic fatalism that has arisen due to Darwin's theory. It was the time when Darwin's theory of evolution came, and Shaw was somehow against the Darwin's natural selection. Shaw emphasized man's spontaneous will to improve over mechanical natural selection. In his preface to his one of his play, Back to Methuselah, he says, if Darwin's theory of natural selection is true, that only fools and rascals would bear to be alive. So he says, of course, we must move towards, with not with this thought in the mind of natural selection, but we have to improve ourselves. How can we improve our intellect? How can we improve our living? How can we excel intellectually? So this is how he says we can create a creative evolution. And he followed eugenism. Eugenism is a term that was coined in that period in 1883 by Francis Galton. And this term means a conscious intervention for biological improvement. Shaw was for the improvement of the race, improvement of the future race. So when he is talking in that period for the improvement of the future race, he is talking for us. He's talking about us. So this was his vision, that he could see that the future race should have, should be developed, not by the natural selection process of Darwin, but by a constant effort of learning and developing your intellectual faculties. Shaw was a person who hated war. Many of you might have read his play Arms and the Man, where he has depicted the anti-war, ideas. He has de-romanticized the notions of war, the kind of glory which we attach to war. He says, if he is given a chance, if he has in his hand, he will never let happen war. So आज भी हम उस स्थिति में हैं जहां पर हम सुनते हैं कि कभी भी वॉर हो सकता है. कितनी ही जगह, कितनी ही कंट्रीज में वॉर्स चल रहे हैं. अभी यूक्रेन का हम लोग पेपर में पढ़ रहे थे. तो anything which that can develop your nation and the entire community, global community, is the Treaty of Peace. So he was for peace. He founded a political magazine, and the name of the magazine was The New Statesman. In that, he used to write his political thoughts. One of his articles, The Peace of Europe and How to Attain It, in 1914. In this article, he says that the only thing that can be done is that we work on the treaties of peace. That is when the First World War was about to break. Then he wrote a letter to US President also in order to, just to invite peace so that there may not be any war. So he said he wrote a letter to the USA president for with a purpose. He requested that president of USA can request Britain, France, and Germany to withdraw from Belgium. So this is what was his concept of peace. And then one of his pamphlet, The Common Sense, was very popular, and it greatly altered the opinions of people about war in 1914. And after this pamphlet, he wrote a play, Heartbreak House. In that play also, he condemns hypocrisy and lies and the killing of people. He says that the only thing that war can give you is death. So war is never in the interest of common people. I'm not throwing much light upon his socio-political views because I have eminent professors here who will discuss his socio-political views much better than me, I think. So what I would now like is, I would like to sum up. I think I have some time more. शो को मैं इस 2 लाइंस के साथ बांधना चाहूंगी। जिंदगी के हर कदम पर समझौते किए जाएं, जिंदगी के हर कदम पर समझौते किए जाएं, शौक जीने का है मगर इतना भी नहीं कि मर के जिया जाए। So life is full of tragedy and comedy, we all know. It is a kaleidoscope of infinite variety. We don't have two things similar. And that way, everyone's life is an individual drama. We all are playing a drama. Our lives are drama. We are enjoying variety of characters on this cosmic stage. I know you won't permit me, but then if you allow me to say, then don't you feel that life is also not real? COVID at least has made us think so. It is only an entertainment, just as old movies are shown over and over again. So basically the same old perceptions, old love, fear, hatred, anxieties occur and reoccur in the drama of life. And although this cosmic drama goes on eternally, the same themes depicted in the past dramas are being portrayed again and again with the change of name of the characters so that we all are museum pieces. I've tried here to decode the universality and the significance of the dramatic effects of Shaw. And of course, related to him is the destiny of every individual character, whether he knows or not. So to me, every character of G.B. Shaw is a lively repetition with different faces and names, suffering exactly with the same mental attitude, weaknesses, strengths, longings, pleasures, pains. To me, beauty of drama is that it is an end which is ingrained in the beginning, and it is to perform realistic records through unrealistic characters. With this, I would like to end, and my all good wishes to the participants who would be presenting their papers, and to this university for organizing this such a this plethora of ideas. And I forgot to congratulate this young lady here who was moderating. I feel that Shaw's justification and his relevance lies here when girls like her, they come forward and they fulfill their duties fearlessly and with, with a mark of their personality. So once again, I thank you all for giving me this opportunity. Uh, if you have any questions, I'm open. And again, I would like to quote two lines, which of course are written, by my husband is here, Dr. A.S. Kushwa. He is a poet. So he has written two lines. He says, "जरूरी नहीं है किसी को सिखाना, जरूरी नहीं है किसी को सिखाना, उसे भूलकर आईना न दिखाना." तो ड्रामा जो है, इट मिरर्स, हमको एक आईना दिखाता है और शॉ ने बहुत ही रियलिस्टिक आईना दिखाया, इसीलिए बहुत क्रिटिसिज्म भी हुआ. लेकिन टुडे वी आर इन द टाइम्स व्हेन वी genuinely need realism. We genuinely need people who can come forward for peace. We seriously need people who are, who can work for a purpose, who can work for the society, who can eradicate the distinction between rich and poor, the class struggle, the poverty. I think Shaw is too much relevant for our times. Thank you so much. I'm open if you want to ask something. Yes. Yes, please.
My question is that today is all about English. So I want to be a good English. So what is the best tip to go through the whole English in their pronunciation and grammatical and all?
Okay. Though the question is not related to the topic, but your query is very genuine, and so I would like to answer it. See, if you want to master any language, because we are Indians, therefore English is our second language. Our first language is our mother tongue, that is Hindi, for we people who speak Hindi. So in order to master the second language, you need to practice it and practice it and practice it. That's it. You must listen to English news, you listen English songs, you watch English movies. That will give you, the idea of the pronunciations. And in order to enrich your vocabulary, you can make a habit of, remembering 5 words or 2 words daily, and keeping them in your daily practice. Whatever 2 or 5 words you learn daily, you use them in your daily day-to-day routines. That will enrich your vocabulary. And the only thing which can improve communication and spoken English is to speak English. That's it. टूटी फूटी जैसी भी है बोलना है, फिर धीरे धीरे करके वो आपके अंदर रिफाइननेस आ जाता है. ठीक है.
Thank you, ma'am, for enriching us. I would request whether the participant to ask the relevant questions which are basically related with the seminar, with the topic of the seminar. These are the other questions. They are important. You can ask some other time. But I feel since this eminent speaker who is speaking on this particular topic, I feel you should be a bit conscious regarding which question you need to ask it. Okay. We'll move further. We have with us Honorable Dr. J.P. Mishra, sir, the Registrar of our university. I would invite him to enrich us with his words.
नेशनल सेमिनार में उपस्थित हमारे संरक्षक कुलगुरु प्रोफेसर श्रद्धेय टी.आर. थापक सर, keynote speaker Dr. Sonia Singh from Gwalior, Dr. Saraswat from Morena, Dr. Kushwaha from Gwalior, और सभी देश से पधारे हुए हमारे विद्वान प्राध्यापकगण, छात्र शक्ति, मातृशक्ति, मीडिया के हमारे बंधु, मैं अंग्रेजी को ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ा हूं, लेकिन विलियम शेक्सपियर का एक कोटेशन याद आता है कि सम आर बॉर्न ग्रेट, सम एक्वायर ग्रेटनेस और सम आर ग्रेटनेस थ्रस्ट अपॉन देम। जॉर्ज बनारसा में जो अभी मैडम कीनोट स्पीकर बोल रही थी, मुझे तो लगता है कि उनका समग्र व्यक्तित्व बड़ा संवेदनशील था, और ना वो जन्म से महान थे और ना महानता उन पर थोपी गई, बल्कि वो कर्म से महान हो गए। इस तरह वही मैडम ने उनके आदर्शिज्म की बात की, सोशलिज्म की बात की, अभी वो प्रोपोगंडा की भी बात सर ने हमें लिख के भेजी थी। मतलब किस तरह का, कितने तरह का संवेदनाएं अपने यहाँ अंदर वो समेटे हुए थे जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ। और ये जो सब्जेक्ट लिया गया है रिविजिटिंग जीवी शॉ इन द प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो, उसमें जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ ही को क्यों चुना? मतलब साफ है कि वर्तमान प्रेजेंट परिदृश्य में जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ का जो साहित्य था वो महत्वपूर्ण है, इसलिए उस पर फिर से पुनरावलोकन की जरूरत है। और आजादी के इस अमृत महोत्सव में ये जो एक दिन में जो विचार मंथन जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ के साहित्य से निकलेगा, हमारे विद्वान साथी मंचन करेंगे, तो मुझे लगता है कि आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव का वर्ष भी अमर हो जाएगा। इतना ही कह के मैं वाणी को विराम देता हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Thank you, sir. Now I would request Dr. J.P. Shakya, sir, to please share his motivating words with us, sir.
आज के इस राष्ट्रीय सेमिनार में हमारे कुलगुरु प्रोफेसर टी.आर. थापक सर, रजिस्ट्रार डॉक्टर जे.पी. मिश्रा जी, डॉक्टर एस.पी. सारस्वत जी मुरैना से, डॉक्टर ए.एस. कुशवाहा जी, मैडम सोनिया सिंह और उपस्थित सभी विद्वान साथियों, विद्यार्थियों, जैसा कि आप सबको ज्ञात है कि आज यह राष्ट्रीय सेमिनार जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ के चरित्र चिंतन के ऊपर केंद्रित है और वर्तमान समय में उनकी क्या आवश्यकता है उसको पुनर्विचार करने की आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि हमारा आप जानते हैं कि उन्होंने बहुत सारे प्ले राइट किए हैं, क्रिटिक हैं, वो पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविस्ट रहे हैं, पाश्चात्य थिएटर में उनका बहुत बड़ा प्रभाव पड़ा है, साहित्य, संस्कृति और राजनीति के वो फुरेदा माने जाते हैं। इसीलिए साहित्य के क्षेत्र में उनको सर्वोच्च सम्मान नोबेल पुरस्कार प्रदान किया गया था। इसके अलावा एकेडमी अवार्ड फॉर द बेस्ट राइटिंग का पुरस्कार भी उनको दिया गया था। मूवी के क्षेत्र में उनका बहुत बड़ा प्रभाव है, जैसा अभी मैडम बता रही थी। उनकी प्रसिद्ध मूवी माई फेयर लेडी, यंग मिलन और मेजर बारबरा, सीजर एंड सायपात्रा आदि उनके कई प्ले हैं जो आज भी उन परिस्थितियों को दर्शाते हैं जो हमारे समाज में घटित होती हैं। निश्चित रूप से आज उनकी साहित्य की वर्तमान प्रासंगिकता है। इसके चिंतन को लेकर के हमारे विद्वान जो अनेक देशों से आए हैं, अनेक प्रदेशों से आए हैं, यहाँ पर हमारे बीच में अपना विचार मंथन करेंगे। मैं उनका कला संकाय के अधिष्ठाता होने के नाते उनका स्वागत करता हूँ, उनका सम्मान करता हूँ। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, sir. Now I would, with due respect, like to invite the VC, sir. I'm afraid to invite and also very keen to invite. The reason because he's very enthusiastic. I would probably take the second word to meet his enthusiasm. So please.
आज के इस अंग्रेजी अध्ययनशाला एवं शोध केंद्र महाराजा छत्रसाल बुंदेलखंड विश्वविद्यालय छतरपुर में हो रहे अंग्रेजी के सेमिनार में उपस्थित हमारे इस विश्वविद्यालय के रजिस्ट्रार साहब, जो आज पहली बार पकड़ा है लेट हो, नहीं तो 9 बजे इनकी उपस्थिति अपेक्षित रहती थी। इनको लग रहा था कि थापक साहब तो लेट है, भोपाल से आ रहे हैं, समय पे आ ही नहीं पाएंगे। हमारे बड़े कृपा पूर्वक हमारे आग्रह पे, हमारे गौर साहब के आग्रह पे पधारे हुए अंग्रेजी के विद्वान साथियों, इस सेमिनार की मुख्य वक्ता आदरणीय सोनिया सिंह जी, आपका भी बहुत ही रोचक, बहुत ही प्रेरणास्पद हमने व्याख्यान सुना। साथ ही आए हुए आदरणीय डॉक्टर एसपी सारस्वत जी, जो कि मुरैना से आए हैं, आदरणीय कुशबा जी, इस संगोष्ठी में उपस्थित हमारे डीन साकेत जी, प्राध्यापक बंधुओं, भाइयों एवं मातृशक्ति। आज का ये बहुत ही अच्छे विषय पे सेमिनार है। मैं तो साइंस का विद्यार्थी हूँ और लंबे समय से अब साइंस वाइंस भी खत्म हो गई। 18 सालों से बस मैनेजरी कर रहा हूँ, आप लोगों की ध्यान चिंता करता रहता हूँ। तो मैंने एक छोटी सी 2 पंक्तियां जब मैं पढ़ता था उस समय लिखी थी। इस तरह की संगोष्ठियां मेरे इस व्यंग के लिए जरूरी हैं, ताकि आप लोग इससे, साहित्य की बात चली तो मैंने जो लिखा था वो सुनिए, मेरा व्यंग। साहित्य की बात चली तो छाने लगी चेहरे पे उबासी की आकृति। अभी कर रही थी लड़की हमारी, जब मैडम बोल रही थी साहित्य की बात चली तो छाने लगी चेहरे पे उबासी की आकृति। विज्ञान की बात चली तो वह तो कहने लगे वह तो करता है सतत विकृति। विज्ञान की बात चली तो कहने लगे वह तो करता है सतत विकृति। शाश्वत यदि कुछ है तो वह है राशन की लाइन, जो आदमी को आदमी से जोड़ती तो है। तो ये मेरी बातों को, मेरी जो मैंने लिखी थी उस समय, जब बड़ा कठिन परिस्थितियां थी, बड़ी लाइन लगा करती थी, उस समय की है। अब तो हमारा बहुत परिवर्तन हो गया है, हम बहुत उन्नति पर हैं, और इस तरह के इन विषयों पे सेमिनार हमें प्रेरणा देंगे, हमें आगे बढ़ने के लिए अवसर देंगे। हमारा विश्वविद्यालय, मैडम जी, कुशबा जी, सारस्वत जी, हमारे आए हुए अतिथि चतुर्वेदी जी, हम बताएं कि हमारा विश्वविद्यालय अभी बड़ा बालक अवस्था में, बड़ा शुरुआती अवस्था में है। 4 माह पूर्व भी हमारा इस महाविद्यालय का विलय हुआ, लेकिन मेरा दावा है कि हमारे बच्चे, ये बच्चे जो बैठे हैं, हमारी बेटियां, हमारे बेटे, ये मध्य प्रदेश ही क्या हिंदुस्तान के श्रेष्ठ बच्चे सिद्ध होंगे। बस इन्हें एक प्रेरणा की आवश्यकता है। आज का बड़ा सार्वगर्भित विषय चुना है। गौर साहब, आपको और आपकी पूरी टीम को बधाई है। 1925 में साहित्य का सबसे बड़ा जो पुरस्कार है इस दुनिया का, नोबेल पुरस्कार प्राप्त हमारे बर्नार्ड साहब, वो एक महान नाटककार, एक कुशल राजनीतिज्ञ के साथ ही साथ मानवतावादी व्यक्तित्व के धनी थे। बड़ी कठिनाइयों में उन्होंने अपना जीवन यापन किया और उनका प्रभाव, उनका व्यक्तित्व का प्रभाव पूरी दुनिया में है। आज हम उनके इस विषय पर यहाँ पर सेमिनार कर रहे हैं, उसका ये प्रमाण है। उनकी वेशभूषा बड़ी बेतरतीब रहा करती थी, बड़े सामान्य ढंग से रहते थे। तब उनसे पूछा गया कि आप इस तरह से कैसे रहते हैं, तो उन्होंने अपनी चिर परिचित शैली में कहा कि जीविका के लिए साहित्य को मैंने इसलिए चुना है क्योंकि एक लेखक को पाठक देखते नहीं, इसलिए उसे अच्छी पोशाक की जरूरत नहीं होती है। व्यापारी, डॉक्टर, वकील या कलाकार बनने के लिए मुझे साफ कपड़े पहनने पड़ते, इसलिए उन्होंने ये सुना है। लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता कि ये सब बातें होंगी। उनका व्यक्तित्व इतना बड़ा था कि उन्हें आज सारी दुनिया याद करती है। ऐसे महान व्यक्ति को, उनकी शिक्षा को हम ग्रहण करें, उनकी बातों को हम आत्मसात करें। इसीलिए ये इस तरह के सेमिनार पूरी दुनिया में आयोजित किए जाते हैं। मैं इस सेमिनार के आयोजकों को, हमारी टीम को बहुत कुछ साधुवाद देता हूं कि इतने कम समय में हमारे यहाँ जो अच्छा शैक्षणिक माहौल पैदा किया, उसके लिए हमारे प्राध्यापक बंधु सब बधाई के पात्र हैं। आप सब लोग मिलकर, मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि आप सब लोग मिलकर हमारे इस विश्वविद्यालय को इस प्रदेश का नहीं बल्कि देश का श्रेष्ठ विश्वविद्यालय बनाएंगे। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you, sir. As I said, I would rather take a next birth to meet your dynamism and enthusiasm. Absolutely true. Every time you listen, the same energy, same enthusiasm, every time, sir. I can't understand what is the source of this kind of energy. But I really like to know it, sir. In future, once if I get the chance, I will definitely try to interact you. Thank you, sir. Now I would invite my colleague, D.K. Prajapati, sir, to propose the vote of thanks. So.
Thank you, ma'am. A graceful and warm morning to all. I, Devendra Kumar Prajapati, Assistant Professor, School of Studies in English, MCBU Chhatarpur. I am honored and lucky to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks. I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the chairperson, chief patron of this seminar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor T.R. Thapak sir, for sparing time from his busy schedule to grace the occasion. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to express my gratitude to the guest of honor, the Registrar, MCBU Chhatarpur, Dr. J.T. Misra sir, for patronizing the seminar. I would like to express my gratitude to the keynote speaker of this inaugural session, Dr. Sonia Singh, Professor of English, Government, KRG, College Gwalior, MP, for your present lecture. Thank you so much, ma'am. I extend my thanks to the guest of honor, Dean, Faculty of Arts, Dr. J.P. Sathi sir, for your gracious presence. Thank you, sir. I also extend my thanks to the guest of honor, Dr. S.P. Saraswat sir, Professor Head of the Department of English, Government PG College, Ludhiana, for sharing his valuable lecture. Thank you, sir. Further, I extend my thanks to the guest of honor, Dr. A.S. Kushwaha, Professor of English, Government SLP College, Gwalior, MP, for his gracious presence and for sharing with us. Now, I would like to extend my gratitude towards the head of the department and coordinator of the seminar, Dr. B.P.S. Gaur sir, for your welcome note. Thank you so much, sir. And I also thanks all the speakers and participants and all the presents here to grace the occasion. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Well, we are about to wrap up the inaugural session. This is to inform all the people, all especially the
will be available at the staff room, and for the rest of the people, guest resource person, it will be at the registrar chamber. We'll be meeting after a quarter, after 15 minutes.